This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long time got them long logi, now you got them bungalow. Long time got them long logi, now you got them bungalow. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long time got them dirty dam, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty dam, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty dam, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty dam, now you got them concrete road. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long time got them jug lamp, now you got them electric light. Long time got them jug lamp, now you got them electric light. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long time got them broad bottom, now you got them tight straight. Long time got them broad bottom, now you got them tight straight. Long time got them broad bottom, now you got them tight straight. Long time got them broad bottom, now you got them tight straight. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. Long
Hello, good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in 107.1 FM. I am Dinesh Jaiprashad, and it's a pleasure once again to be with you for the next hour. I know that tonight's program will be a special one whereby we will be able to continue the work that we are doing as it relates to exposing what is happening in Region 6 in Guyana as it relates to politics and development. We know that we have had a rough week basically in Guyana, a week that caused us to understand and realize that deaths coming left, right, and center, basically as it relates to COVID. It is getting beyond control, and still we do not know what is happening. We do not know what is happening. So, brothers and sisters, listeners, viewers, those on the ground listening via radio, Facebook, thank you for tuning in tonight. And we know that we will bring enough information so that you will be able to understand what really is happening as it relates to politics in Guyana. I must say special thanks to Mark Benchop for affording me the opportunity to be here every Tuesday night so that we can expose what is happening in East Berbice quarantine and in Guyana. Tonight's program, we will focus on COVID, floods by Suku, and the other things happening in Region 6. We will try to narrow it down to Region 6 so that you, the listeners and viewers everywhere, will understand the role the PPP is playing in region number 6 and how up to today we are still having some communities being neglected and others having more. So thank you for tuning in, and may God continue to protect us and keep us safe. With me tonight will be an individual who is no stranger to East Berbice quarantine. He has been in the forefront of politics in the region for the past years, a very prominent individual who have been on the campaign trail and most importantly has been representing us for a year now at the RDC. He is Mr. Derrick Basdeo, AFC representative on our council, and we know that we are a coalition, APNU AFC. So he is from the AFC party, and he is a household name in Berbice. You find him in all the activities in Region 6 and Region 5, going around speaking to and with our supporters and even non-supporters, speaking to our brothers and sisters in Region 6 so that um, he can listen to them, give them advice, and most importantly, represent them at various fora. So pleasant good night to you, Mr. Basdeo.
Hi, good night, MP Dinesh. It's a pleasure to be in the panel here. And a special good night to everybody in the panel, people listening and viewing us live, also in the diaspora and our beautiful dear land of Guyana.
Thank you very much. As I was saying, Mr. Basdeo, tonight we will talk a little bit on COVID as to what really is happening in Region 6, what really is happening in Guyana, and then we will spend some time on the flood. We know that we have a big saga, big story about the flood relief. Flood relief is the talk of the day. A lot of individuals, APNU supporters, PPP supporters, AFC supporters, and people who are not in politics, basically. Some of them are coming to us. You know it, you are in the community. They are coming to us. So we will talk about that also. And we will talk about a little bit about what is happening in Gaisuku. We have been observing some protests and so recently, and we want to share with our brothers and sisters that here what happened.
Correct.
It is coming to home. It is hitting home. PPP is hitting home. They have tried to cause some suppression on our supporters, APNU AFC. But we are seeing now that the hammer is hitting on the PPP base. The hammer is hitting on the PPP supporters. And to the brothers and sisters who protested a few days, we are here to listen to you and we will represent you at all levels so that come next election, we take it out the PPP from government, and we will try to solve as much as we can. So Mr. Basdeo, we will talk a little bit about the COVID situation. I must say that we have about 741 deaths as of today. 741 persons have died, and the number is infected person 29,813. It means then that within a year we have gone 29,000 plus, and still Minister of Health is not basically saying anything to us as to what really is the plan or what they will do so that they can reduce the infection rate, reduce the death rate, and save people. What is your take, what is your take on the COVID situation in Guyana?
Well, we got 3 municipalities in Berbice, Region 6, New Amsterdam, Rosal, and Corriverton. And, especially on weekends, these towns, there's a lot of people patronizing the bars. And you could be bars in the outskirts, on the public road, wherever. And once you start drinking and imbibing in alcohol, the beers or from a glass, then you obviously have to take your mask out. And that leaves everybody with social distancing gone haywire right there. Nobody protecting himself. And then when they take a couple drinks, then you don't care. You want to drink more and more and more. And then you hold on and the crowd get bigger. Then the owner doesn't want to close up. The police tried to close them down. Like over last weekend, we had some of that problems in New Amsterdam. And, the social distances is not there in the rum shops. And if you check even in certain areas, if I call the names, then, but it's alleged that in Albion also, where I'm living opposite Albion police station, and bars are opening late at night. The police go there, they get their lookouts, they know when the police are coming, they close down the music, they tune it down, and they do like nothing happening. But some of these policemen are smart now. They go into these pubs and they check them out. The other thing too, MP, we were in Amsterdam this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And Dr. Sharma of Region 6 here with Dr. Thomas, they were giving some COVID guidelines and they want us to follow up. I visited them as an RDC counselor, and on the men's forum, we have a men's empowerment forum that we formed recently, and we are doing pretty good. We normally have the meetings at the Outback in Kanji, where we launch our first men's forum. and now we're gonna go out in different areas and things like that. MP, touching on this COVID, even to the areas of the estates, like King Cutters traveling in the lorries, they're not protecting themselves. They should protect themselves a little bit more. But I think, they are we're going to touch about that with the King Cutters and the strike and things like that. But they are frustrated with what's happening to them. It's like, it's their country, it's their place of birth, and they are being robbed straight in their eyes. The allegations I heard today was too much. With the cane issue, which we'll discuss in the thing. But going back to the COVID situation, we have to educate our brothers and sisters. Our little ones in the schools. I was at a school in Kanji just this midday, and the kids during the recess time, they run into the pipe without a mask. And right in front of me, in front of the gate, I had to talk to one of them. Don't. He was asking for the Superman-looking mask from his other buddy, his friend, to get it and wear it, to try it on. So I said, no, you don't do that. You don't lend or borrow things, especially a mask, And where is the teacher? I asked that specifically. And then the lady who was selling china and bar and things like that said, oh, they don't come out, So I said, well, I need to come in, but I wasn't seeing the security. I don't want to, trespass until like that or force myself in, But I said I'm going to visit that school and many other schools concerning COVID guidelines and see what help I could give, speaking on a nationalist, not as a politician only, because, when you go there to some places, you go there as a politician, they kind of don't want to entertain you. But if you go there as a buddy with them and you see and you talk to them at their levels, they entertain your conversation and they start to open up and tell you things, like the teachers up to last week, I was with them in New Amsterdam. I'm not going to be a hypocrite here, MP. I have the Pfizer both shots from overseas, right? And I'm not telling people to go and take it, and it's mandatory. You have to mix with children. You want to get into the classrooms, at least you should take it. But it's your democratic right if you don't want to take it. It's just like a patient in a hospital. If you're a patient in a hospital and you don't want to stay in the hospital, you could discharge yourself. If you don't want a certain prescription and you want to have a doctor's second opinion, you are more than likely to do it because the patient rights, So with that, Mr. MP, we could touch on, some other subjects. I know we got a lot within an hour to discuss.
Yeah, so true. Thank you very much, Mr. Basdeo. And I want to reinforce that there has been complaint that the socialization aspect in Region 6 is open. So once we have the curfew until 9:30, 10:30, we are allowing people to gather and do whatever they have to do. And you rightly put it, that when you are taking a few shots, there's no need for masks. And when you're taking shots, you get your buddy and you chat and talk, and if the music is playing, then you're above the voice, the tone, and that causes vapors and particles to fly out your mouth and travel in the atmosphere and get towards. So basically what we are saying here is that once you are in that setting, you are exposing yourself and you can pick up the COVID and you can share it if you have it. To the viewers, please, who are on Facebook, you take a minute and share the live stream so that our brothers and sisters everywhere can be able to listen and to know what is happening in Guyana. I'm saying to all of us who are conscious, it is your right. It is your right to decide what you want to do. But we are saying, if you're a legal practitioner, if your doctor, if your counsel advise you, to take the vaccine, then go ahead. And if the advice given to you by your medical and legal people say that, no, then it's your story. What we are saying is to practice the safety measures. Sanitize, social distancing, don't get into crowds, and put on the face mask. So when we do these things, we will be on the safe side. Recently we are told that a lot of shutting out happening in Guyana. Everybody being locked out. Everybody being locked out. You know, so place of work becomes a police zone. You have 2, 3 security guards, you know, shutting the gate that you cannot go in and go out. Today, a doctor was locked out from the Amsterdam hospital. A surgeon who it is alleged that was working all day, left to take a shower, left his bag with his COVID booklet in the bag, run across to the doctor's quarters, took a shower, changed his clothes, and rushing back to the hospital. And the security said, "Where is the blue book? Where is the COVID book?" And he's saying to the guy that my book is in my bag in the hospital. I just run across because I have a patient there who is a maternity patient, and you know that was an issue. So I'm saying to the managers for the various departments, let us put systems in place. We are not to play with people's lives. Do not take this thing lightly. You know, there are some practitioners, there are some people who gotta be there on the job. So if you know that this person has a booklet, there is no need for ask him every day to produce his booklet. You got to put some systems in place. Imagine a medical practitioner, a surgeon was denied entry. You know, so teachers are being locked out. Public servants are being locked out because you know they do not have a blue book. It is like, you know, a blue book is a visa. You can't go nowhere. You understand, Mr. Basdeo? We can't go nowhere without a blue book. You know, bank blue book. When you took your money to the bank, they never asked you for a blue book. But you know, they have your money there, but you gotta get a blue book to access it. So you know, some things happening, and I'm saying that we all need to be conscious. We cannot force anything on the people. People have a democratic right, and our constitution indicates that we have a democratic right. But I'm saying, if you have your advice and your doctor say take the vaccine, then go ahead and take it.
Yes.
So that is what we are calling upon our brothers and sisters. And look at the stats. Most of the individuals who are dying, most of them are the ones that did not take the vaccine.
True.
So I'm appealing to you, do the research, and we can try to protect ourselves and stay safe. So much on COVID. Remember the number keep going up. The number keep going up every day. It's about 741 now. Please, we are not safe. Minimize travel, minimize socialization, minimize unwanted movement. If you got sick people at home, know what you're doing. If you got little children, know what you're doing. This is not a time for you to, you know, go and walk about and aimlessly and waste time. Be safe.
And then the Christmas holidays is coming up too.
Yes, we know. We know that COVID will not just disappear. So I am appealing, if we start to practice the correct thing now, come the holiday time, we will be able to be, you know, safe. All right, all of us want to be alive, and so we got to try to practice the safety measures. Mr. Basdeo, I would like you to give us a couple minutes as to what really is happening in the region as it relates to the resources allocation. How you find that the region doing work for the communities? Are they doing the things across the board, everybody, or they are doing more in community A than community B? What is your take on that?
Well, being in the vicinity almost all over Region 6, and since with our coalition time in government, we had projected a lot of work to be done. And when we left office, the PPP continued with that work because everything was streamlined in the pipeline. They hadn't any necessary, you know, feasibility studies and all these things to do. They just had to pick up from where we left off because, you know, a certain individual stopped our progress when he voted us out on a no confidence, you know. So with that said about that certain individual, you know, and he was the one who was, you know, it with us concerning the shutting down of estates. But we do it, shut the estates, but people were still working in Albion, right? Where certain amount, the maximum amount of sugar could have been produced for molasses and consumption. But then, you know, Kanji had closed down because it was in a deplorable condition, and it's still in a deplorable condition. It's not grinding as yet. Even the canals leading to the pond slip, to the factory, to the scale are not clean as yet. I was there yesterday morning. Broken pumps, broken ponds, and all the kind of garbage and water bottles and water grass and other grass and derbis in the waterways. You know, they're not preparing those places yet. You know, coming to the money that's involved with the estate. You know, some of those money going into the sugar industry should be go to sugar workers who are capable enough to go to a technical institute and do a little studies to go and work on the barges, the pontoons with the oil and gas. You know, we have to continue with agriculture. There's no doubt about it. Agriculture, honorable MP, have to run parallel with oil and gas because agriculture is here to stay. Oil and gas might finish or some other substitute might come its way because with advanced technology these days, you never know what can happen. 25 years ago, if I ever told you that I'm going to be walking around with a cell phone, you know, talking to the whole world on WhatsApp for free, you would have told me, Derrick, Basdeo, are you crazy? That's not going to happen. But look at it today, advanced superhighway. We could talk to somebody in England, in Australia, in New York, and everywhere else.
There we have there on the screen, sugar workers at Albion.
Right. Yes, I witnessed that. And, you know, indeed, I got quite a few pictures of that. You know, quite a few pictures. Up to this morning, I was on the Albion estate, in front of the estate, in front of the security area. And there was a negotiation there with the GAU representatives. And also on some of the GAU representatives, they are close with management and discussing in secret. Discuss your situations in front of the workers. The workers' money are being cut from their paychecks, you know, just like the GAU representative. So with that honorable MP, you know, there have to be transparency when you're negotiating. If the representative are going to go behind closed door and negotiate, you know, it's not going to make any difference. Do it right there because the cane harvesting is very hard.
We know what is happening. We know what is happening. We know what is happening. We know the CEO for Gaisuku and the representative for GAU is in Parliament and the PPP slate. So you see what happens there.
Yeah.
The CEO for Gaisuku, PPP man, and GAU rep PPP. So basically the two of them are negotiating among themselves. And we know that what is happening to the sugar worker here now is not right. They are the hardest worker in the industry, cane cutters. You know, they are going there and they are working pretty hard. And to say to them that you are not, you know, giving them what they deserve is an injustice. But the thing I want to send home, the message that I want to send home, when APNUAFC was in government, you know, and the sugar worker strike, that was a big thing. All the news people had it. All the news, all the channel, all the newspaper had it big, sugar worker striking. But sugar workers striking now, and we're not seeing anything on the news. Barely gonna see a one clip or a two clip. If not for Facebook and social media, we would have get nothing coming out. So I'm saying to my brothers in the sugar industry, it is hard for you to comprehend that your administration, the PPP government, is applying so much pressure on you, making you coming out on the road and strike and protest and demonstrate. But here what happens. It will not be for too long. We know that they will have to fix it for you. Imagine, Mr. Basdeo, teachers and public servants striking and nobody meeting with them. One day, sugar workers Our brothers protested on the road. Next day, deal set. Next day, deal set. The man team up and they went and they signed some deal. And what they said that if the ton is short, we gonna pay you extra. And you know what I said to the teacher? If you strike, we cut your pay. So we
What you
are
pay?
seeing some disparity there. Let us be
Right.
fair. Let us be fair. So I know that the Minister of Education will see this and she will say, okay, the teachers who strike and so you get full pay. Same way we treating the sugar workers who got half ton cane and it's supposed to be 1 ton. We give you the extra ton, half ton, and fix it up. So that is what we want. Let things be fair. Let our workers in the country receive the benefits. I'm saying it has been 2 budgets and workers have not received any pay increase and so I'm saying I have been in parliament since 2020 and we have passed 2 budgets, both of which large chunks, billions of dollars were placed into Gaisuku. Billions of dollars placed into Gaisuku. And still, to date, we are not seeing that rippling effect. That return is not thing. I do not know what is the pay hike for the top ranking officials, but that is what needs to come to light. You know, we got to expose what is happening so that the people will be able to understand that the man cutting the cane receiving the smallest amount and the chaps driving the SUV in the fancy house, they are the one that receiving the big the
Yeah, that's
big
so true.
chunks, the big chunks.
Honorable MP, that's what you said there about the workers. They're the hardest worker in the entire family. They start working at 3:30 in the morning. Their wife, right, their significant other, their mom, their their sisters got to get up early morning, started to cook. And then what I noticed in Albany area and other surrounding areas also, at the time when sugar workers got to get up, that's the time they decide to shut the electricity off, blackout. Almost, that you live in Port Moran, you see how much blackouts we are getting, and it's
Exactly.
affecting people. They're affecting everyone. They're affecting these sugar workers' wife preparing meals for these workers to go there and toil in the sun and cut cane. When I see some of them today and telling me that they bring home $9,000 a week, with the cost of living now, and touch on that, if they could give out $1 billion to the farmers, the cash crop, the pump operators in Berbice here, Region 6, why they not giving some money to the cane cutters? So the teachers also, the homeowners, everybody was affected with this flood. It's natural disaster, yes. And everybody, look, a pint of pepper now is $1,600. So everybody's affected. You got to pay more, cost of living gone up. Give everybody their fair share. There is money there. If you could give out $1 million, and look, you remember I was talking about this on the other channel, right? About farmers harvested their rice, before the flood, and they still went there to get money. I went to the Chandy Singh High School, total chaos, no good supervision, no good way of collecting names and collecting your losses. Who is gonna, if you collect the losses there, how are you gonna go to the location and see the losses? I know a lot of people, brothers, gonna be complaining against brothers, neighbors against neighbors. Oh, you didn't plant, you collect already, and you this and you that. All these things we're gonna face. But what we gotta
Exactly.
do is change the system. Start get a database system. These days of pen and book is not working it out. Put everything and document it in the database. So next time around, I don't see good enough a future for next year and a good vision to put sluices and pumps in place. All this water that came in, especially in your area, that was the last area, Port Moran, Babujan, to be drained. And that water was black, and that's creek water. So that water was definitely coming from the Long John area, back of Albany Estate.
So true.
I don't hear anything of anybody patching the dams or fixing the dams and things like that.
No, Mr. Basdeo, a lot of summer money gotta go there. You see, you're beating to the point, right? But I want to say to our listeners, our viewers, that this money that was given to the residents of Region 6 was a handout money. Probably somebody owe somebody, and they just came and shared the money out, you know, without literally finding out and investigating, you know, doing the groundwork. They just came and they share. Some individuals, you know, we were discussing this earlier. Some individual are coming to you, coming to us, and they're saying, "Hey, what happened? Don't call me name, but so happened. Don't call me name, right?
True.
A freaking the chap will get at me. Don't call me name, but tell them that this happened, so and this happened." Some people who never planned a baji or a baigan receive, you know. Some people who never mind sheep claim that too much 100 sheep there and get hundreds of thousands. You know, some people who never plant rice, you
True,
know,
that's so true.
submit the names and they get so much money. And the people who genuinely lost their crops and livestock and home appliances, when they and furniture, and so when they submit their stuff, them thing not fine. Them name that up on the list. Somebody, you know, somebody scratch it out. And
Right.
they are coming to us and they are saying to us to raise the concern. One sister from my area, Babujan, I spoke with Minister Zulfikar and the regional representative. I say, "Hey, Renan, if that person and those individuals were APNU supporters, I would say, you know, you're victimizing them. But these are PPP supporters, and you are doing this to them, your own people." You understand? 2 days after Minister Zulfi, I must say thanks to you. 2 days after Minister Zulfi sent a team to Potmarant, Babujan, independent team from Georgetown, came and spoke with the people, and then the people gave them the truth. So I am saying that the persons who did the groundwork at first did not do a proper job, or they did a
True.
proper job and somebody changed something. Because if this person, if these persons are the one who received the blunt of the flood, everything damaged, body, everything damaged, and their names are not on the list, it means that some skullduggery happening. I am happy to see that the honorable minister setting up investigating team. Why are you setting up investigating team? It is because that you suspect something wrong when happening there. So once something wrong happen, you gotta set up a team. A team is set up now for Region 5. Somewhere Barry side or somewhere there. A team
Right,
set up
right. I
now.
heard about it.
Got to investigate to um, see what is happening with the flood relief. Flood relief. I, Mr. Basdeo, you want to say anything about the Rosal estate? I was made to understand that they employ about 50 cleaners at the institution there, and you have any
Well,
information as to what really is going on? When they're gonna start
yeah.
grind or
In,
work or so?
what I heard for more than one person who is there employed as one of the, like a handyman in the estate, in the factory itself, right? The factory is in a deplorable condition. There's a lot of breakage, a lot of rusty all over the place, everything almost in a rusting situation. And he was even saying, two of them was even saying, to replace those things gonna cost a lot of money, you know, because it was left abandoned without any kind of uh, housekeeping on them, right? Even like I was mentioning, there's now the canals full of grass and derbis inside, ponds, ponds under the water, ponds halfway up in the water. But going back to the estate, I don't think they could fix that pretty soon. And the cane is going overgrown. Once cane overgrown, the sucrose level drops and it's become lighter. Then vines on it. Then there's money got to be spent additionally than the cutting a regular cane. You got to pay for that vine cane. You got to pay for light cane, you know, and all these things. I used to work in the estate at one time when I was a teenager. And I know some of the rules with cane cutting because I was a charge on foreman and a first aider in the estate. I work at the dock also as a foreman, you know, and I know the system in the estate. You know, honorable minister, you know, I put it this way. Like I said before you pay all that money to go and revive the estate, give the workers some money to go and do some schooling, get some education, go to the technical institute and go and work on the barges,
right.
go and work on the pontoons, oil and gas, make some changes. You know, next thing you know, you watch your grandson when you're born, like you see on cane bundle, you born on top of your head. No, this is advanced technology. We got to do things different. In West Palm Beach, Florida, cane has been harvested in a different way. Bell loaders, machinery cutting cane, loading it and trailers, and it goes straight to the factory. Total difference. Implement those situations in Guyana, and all the dams and everything with the tractor is going to be saved. You know, it's too much of, you know, the infrastructure is so bad in the estate that you cannot break it up anymore. You know, some of these dams in the estate, I went in the estate and not sneakingly, I was given a pass to go some places. And you could see the infrastructure is very bad with the dams. No kind of maintenance. Okay. You know?
So
you know,
we are not seeing Rosal.
A white elephant is sitting there in Kanji still. I don't know if that's going to ever be fixed.
So we are not seeing Rosal to start operation soon.
I don't see it starting very soon. You know, Albion is grinding. Yes, I think there was 40 punts done by a few workers yesterday, and this morning the same amount probably going to be loaded into punts and come to the estate. But the whole factory is working. A chain in command. If you don't have enough cane supplying the factories, all these workers are there. Give the cane cutters what they deserve and let it go and turn out in full. Right? These guys need money. They are actually crying today and they are the line there and they have to strike and take home $9,000 and $10,000 a week. Now this week they might not take any money home. Some of them who have cash net might go and do an alternative something with themselves to get what they call curry for their homes. But who don't have a cash, what are they gonna do?
With the cost of living, Mr. Basdeo, with the cost of living going up so much, the 10,000 and the 9,000 can't work. Can't work.
No.
People, you know, that will only buy the oil and the rice. You know, what about the other stuff? And the government needs to understand that they promised the people that as soon as they get into power, they're going to fix Gaisuku. It has been more than a year now, and they're still trying to. You know, they're still trying to. We know what will happen. We know what will happen. They will bail out Gaisuku until 2025. But our brothers and sisters there listening, our brothers and sisters viewing this program, you are smarter than what they perceive you to be. You are more educated. That is why we are preaching to you. We are saying it over and over. Get yourself a skill.
Yes.
Mr. Basdeo has been preaching this every single day. Get yourself a skill. Do not put all your energy into that cane cutting alone. Learn something new so that we know it will go down. And when it go down, do not sink with it. Be independent. Have a skill that you can survive. You can do something. You know, we started when we were downsizing. We started a training program. You know, if they had continued that, then things would have been different. People received their severance and they received training. That, in a sense, was empowering them to go to plan B. You have some money, you can get into a business, you can get into a skill. And that, you know, was very, very much important. You made mention about going to the Technical Institute. That is a good initiative. You go there, get a skill, do something. Guyana is moving towards technology. It means then that every home will have a car. Every child will have a computer and a tablet and a cell phone. Every family will have so many gadgets. If you go into the technology, the engineering, repair of computer, repair of cell phone, mechanic, welding, spraying, all these things can go and give us $1 from now, you know. It only takes your effort in terms of getting the necessary skills.
Yeah, you know, honorable MP, I want to cut you, but I just remember something. As I associate myself with these cane harvesters, they are very smart individuals, and they could advance themselves in studies. Up to this morning, I was telling about 5 of them standing next to my car. I said, listen, you guys are very, very educated and smart. I even asked 2 of them, I said, which high school you went to? You know, they're smart, they can do better. but it's the situation
true.
where they are in. You know, and I even tell them, I say, listen, this present administration, right, and from history, they want you all to be on the low poverty level, uneducated, so they could take advantage of you all when election time come. You know, come on, you all have to think for yourself. When we, the coalition, was in power, you all wasn't punishing like this. You all was reaching your target in the estates.
So
You
true.
know, this CEO who is there, you know, his background came from, I think, Thunderbolt Flower. He used to work with Thunderbolt Flower. You know, I don't know what kind of experience he have in the estate, you know, to go and let sugar be successful. You know, I don't think
I
the
want to
managers.
I want to touch on something. Um, 2 weeks ago, I had a individual on my show, Mr. Anil Sugrim, and he made mention about a place in Corriverton whereby they fence around some councillors and some good spirited citizen in Corriverton fenced this piece of place, a reserve, and they were, about to make it into a little recreational park, like. And he was saying on the program that the mayor for Corriverton said that he wants that spot to be a dump site. And after the man aired a view on this program that he want to set up a nice recreational park, that this is the area he want to set up a nice recreational park, that you can put lined benches both side of the dam, and parents can go in the evening with their children, play some volleyball, play some dominoes, some outdoor small games, and so relax and have a sense with belonging with nature. And so all these things he was explaining to us. And 2-3 days after the town council order workers to go and break down the fence and start the dumping of stuff at the place. So I'm saying to our viewers in Crabwood Creek, Corriverton, Rosal, New Amsterdam, Guyana, Caribbean, around the world, this is the kind of people we are dealing with. You talk about something good, and tomorrow they come and they try to destroy it. The counselor, Anil Sugrim, is a community activist, is a
Yes.
person who wants to help the community. He could have shut up and wash his hand and sit and relax. But he wants to do things for the community. That is why he said to the council, hey, what happened? This is a little piece of reserve, nobody utilizing it. Let us try to beautify it. Let us try to make it into a nice space that our people can go and relax. The council just broke it down, and they will be using that as a dump site. So these
I
are
know
the
the
things
people you're
that
talking about.
we want our people to take note of. There are things happening in this country that indicates to us that this PPP is getting back to the old PPP. Look what happened in Region 2 there, Essequibo. The wee hours in the morning, SWAT team kicking down door and shooting people. You understand?
Yeah. Yes,
That
yes.
individual, Mr. Boston.
Yeah.
To date, to now, as we speak, 8:45 today, we have not received a substantive report as to what really transpired. I am saying that Guyana was a safe place for 2015 to 2020. Pirates went down,
Yes.
suicide went down, robbery, crimes, all these things went down. Why is it that they are getting root again? Why is it that these things are getting up again? I am calling upon the Honorable Minister and the President. Look into this matter. The people need justice. And all of us in this country need to be in a safe space. Guyana need to be a safe space. You made mention about the blackout, sir. But it's not only blackout. We in Port Moran getting water problem 3 weeks now. And some other brothers and sisters along the quarantine are reporting the same thing to me. So if you are not getting GPL problem, we're getting GWI problem, and we're getting GTNT problem, internet and phone. The people of Babujan, the people of area R Babujan have been complaining for the past 12 years. 12 years they're complaining now for phone line. PPP time, up to time, PPP time again. Still no phone line, and they're still complaining. So I am saying to the relevant authorities, you need to provide these services. You have been collecting payments for the service. Let the service be up to standard. We cannot pay water bill and then we got to set bucket, dig hole and set bucket. We get water pressure. And if there is a situation, you got to put systems in place. You can't say that you're gonna shut down everybody and whatever. You got to put systems in place so that we can be able to understand to say yes, tomorrow or the next day there will be a water shortage, and we will fix it up in 2-3 days. It has been weeks now. Let us do not take things for granted, because people are very much sensible now. This time a long time, people taking things
Yeah.
seriously. So if you continue to fail them, if you continue to deprive them of their needs, they're gonna go out. You're gonna protest, right? So I am appealing to you, those service agencies, GPL, GWI, GTNT, ensure that you provide proper services to the people, to our brothers in the Gaisuku story. You know what is happening, and we are appealing to you to stay focused. Do not lose hope. We know that they want to frustrate you. They want to apply some pressure. Hold on. Do not walk away. Stay focused. Know that we will represent you at all costs, and whatever information you have, please share it with us so that we will see it at this forum. I must say to all our viewers and listeners everywhere, if you have a situation in your community, reach out to us. Give us a phone call or send some pictures and video to us so that we can be able to share it via social media and we can talk about it when we reach on these programs.
Yes.
Mr. Basdeo, any closing remarks?
Listen, let me just touch briefly on the roadways. Let me touch on specific areas, and I normally bring it up consistently at the RDC meetings. It's the road on 47, 48, 52, 53, all right, 58 and 59, which is bad. And tragic accidents happen there. A whole carload lives was lost there. Line path, especially that area where the same incident with that reserve land kind of thing, and the businessman was deciding to put a nice park and facilitate it out of his pocket. Let me tell you, these roads are bad, substandard work, Honorable MP. During our time, we never used to have that.
That is the same road was done in 3-4 times within a year?
Yes, the same very road.
Okay.
Same very road. And it's friends and family doing this road. Money is being paid, obviously, out already. I don't know why they're wasting money like this and these same contractors who are doing these roads. And then who are passing these works? This is bad, very bad. Our taxpayers' money going to waste.
What we gotta do, we gotta get a few pictures, Mr. Basdeo. We gotta get a few pictures on next week. Before next week, we're gonna post it up so that the people will see what we are talking about.
Yes, anybody driving a car, look, car parts are expensive, shocks, and things like that are expensive. And the hire car guys got to go through these bad roads, dodging from bumps and everything else, and potholes. When rain fall, you don't know where the potholes are. And if you're a visitor coming from Georgetown or over the river, you don't know these roads, like the hire car guys would kind of dodge them and things like that. So, we got to do something about the infrastructure ministry. Let it do the right thing for the people. You know, it's very hazardous on the road, very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Basdeo. And that is very, very much important. Going up to the upper quarantine area there from number 43 area going up, there are indeed some
Yeah.
dangerous potholes and so on the road. I know that those areas were done in like 2-3 times within a short period of time. Please, to road users, you are aware that these areas are not so safe. Take your time. Take your time on the road. Do not speed, because when the road is bad and you speed, then that's dangerous. You know, take your time. Any other comments you want to make, Mr. Basdeo?
You know, there's so much we could touch on. You know, last week we did a budget within the RDC, and it was pretty decent, and it was passed, especially for things that the chairman had discussed. And then I'm part of the agriculture committee and also the works committee. But when you go, especially to the works committee, like let's say, for example, the streets where they're fixing and the road, we cannot say anything. You know, it could bring some bad blood, and, you know, things can happen. And, you know, the contractors, they might not feel too comfortable with us. But we come back, and I would write a report on all these things that's happening, you know. And the other thing too, we are not getting good coverage from these journalists in Region 6. You know, they're all doing their favors. You know, I don't know for what reason. You know, look at this Chesney scheme area here. It's not fixed as yet. It's in deplorable condition, the streets. We got a lot of people of all walks of life there, Honorable Minister. You know, we get nurses, we get detectives living in that area, journalists living in that area. Chesney housing scheme, it's a new scheme, you know, and it's in bad condition. You know, I go in there, I just go to a certain point and I don't go any further if I have to go there and visit someone. You know, all these schemes, they have to fix properly. They're doing a lot of cut and cover work. You have to do things right. And my closing remarks, Honorable MP, you know, these sugar workers have to have their demands reached, and as soon as possible. They have to survive. The cost of livings are high. They cannot go and get money from anywhere else but the work that they do in the sugar estate, and they need it and they deserve it. And I'm gonna go tomorrow morning again out there to support them. You know, they are striking for a good cause. Got to make some difference with them and meet their demands. Okay, Honorable MP, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it has been a pleasure to have you. And I know that our viewers, the message coming in indicates that, yes, tonight's program was indeed very topical. And we have, you know, shared a lot of information that will cause people to understand as to what really is happening in region number 6 and in Guyana. Viewers, listeners, please stay tuned. Coming up right after my program is Straight Up with Mark Benchop, and you gotta be part of that session as well, because tonight he will be firing up from all angles. So it has been a pleasure to have you, Mr. Basdeo, and look forward for you to be on other programs with me, so that we can be able to expose what really is happening in East Berbice quarantine, so that our viewers and listeners will be au fait as to what really they need to do, so that come next election, we will be taking the mantle of running the region and the country. So to my to Mark Benchop, thank you for having me on your 107.1. It's always a pleasure to use your space so that we can reach our supporters and those individuals who want to support us but are very much quiet. Please spread the message. We are representing all of you. If you have a concern, you do not have to be a PNU or AFC. Once you are a Guyanese, get to us and we will represent your cause. We have been doing that in all communities. We are not saying that, okay, you APNU or you AFC, we're going to represent you. No. Once you have an issue, everyone, we want the money. We want the money from the budget the money from this country to be given to all our people in the services. So the government must fix all the hospital, all the health centers, all the police station, all the schools, all the roads, all the public spaces must be fixed because it is your money, our money coming back to us. We are the taxpayers of this
Good.
country. And, that is why our duty, my duty as opposition MP, is to expose everything so that the people will know what really is happening. My duty is to represent those who cannot represent themselves so that the people will know that we are making an impact and we are speaking for them. So, Mr. Basdeo, thank you very much for
Thank you too.
taking
Thank
the
you,
time
Mr.
off to be
Bancroft.
with me tonight. And God bless. See you soon. Viewers, thank you very much. Listeners, 107.1, thank you. See you next week, 8 p.m. next Tuesday. Thank you. God bless. Stay safe.
This ain't a long time, this ain't a long time, this not a before time. This ain't a long time, this ain't a long